All right, welcome everyone. You will be listening to Amy Kyle, and her presentation is The Power of Student Portfolios. All right, Amy, take it away.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to the session today. Hope you've enjoyed the sessions so far. And as introduced, I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about Wakelet, the platform and what it can do to support you and your students, particularly in creating and developing student portfolios. So I'm going to jump straight in here. And please feel free to ask questions in the chat. I'll leave a little bit of time towards the end to jump into those. So any questions, feel free to ask. But first, in terms of introductions, my name is Amy. I work on the community team here at Wakelet. So it is my job to make sure that educators using the platform are getting the very most out of it. I get to do great sessions like this one, speak to people every day about the power of Wakelet, but also see how it can support and fit into educators' workflows and things like that. I also help out on the support side as well. So if ever there's questions that you have with the platform during the session, after the session, please do feel free to reach out. I'll make sure you have this collection with these resources that I share. So you'll be able to have those and look back at them after as well. So I'll put that in the chat so that you have that to take away from you, because take away with you, sorry, and work through those at your own pace as well. So that's me. We're actually based in Manchester as well, I should say that. You might have been able to tell, but I'm actually in not so sunny Manchester at the moment in the UK. That's actually where Wakelet is based. We come out to the US whenever we can, particularly for conferences and things like that. But yes, that's where we are at the moment. So a little bit later on in the day, and I know some of the guys have been doing. There's been some other Wakelet sessions. So if you've been on those, fantastic. Maybe you've got an idea of Wakelet and how it kind of can be used now, and you're starting to get a few ideas. But what I will do for those of you who may be completely new to Wakelet, I will just give a little bit of an overview. So I am on the Wakelet platform here. I can, access my collections just here, but I can also go to kind of this area here. And this is like your user library. This is where all of your collections live. So I can have as many collections as I'd like. I can create as many, I can have as many links saved down. And within those collections, what you can do is you can save down all kinds of different media from across the web. Anything you like, anything from YouTube videos. A lot of these are embedded as well, so they will play within. You've got like BBC article links here, PDFs, and you can very much make them your own by being able to sort of edit how they appear. You can change and basically contextualize it how you want to deliver that context. So anything from tweets to videos, blogs, podcast, anything you like, anything we say with a URL, you can save down into a Wakelet collection. And then once you've put those into a collection, you can share it out really easily. So with the link just here, you can send that out to someone that you want to share these resources with, whether that be a student, whether that be a teacher, friend, family. You can send that out to them and they'll be able to access that without having to sign up. So that's a really key one, particularly if you are sharing it with students. You don't have to worry about them creating an account or anything like that. They will be able to view all of this content that you've put together in one place. Another key part of Wakelet is the features I'm showing you here today. Creating collections for the individual user, they are free. We do have a paid district plan, which basically helps support in importing student accounts with the kind of rostering side, analytics and things like that. So if you're looking to push Wakelet across your entire school district, we can support in that area. But the features I'm showing you here, these are all free. You can create everything and you can have as many collections like this as you like. So I'm just going to jump back to my kind of home area here. And I've put together a collection for this presentation. So I will be sharing this out, as I mentioned, but like I said, this is your user library where you create collections, it's simply a case of going to that button there and starting to save down your links, copy and pasting them in there, or actually searching through the integrations we have as well. One thing to also note as well, that all of these collections by default are private. If you want to then share them, you can select like the sharing link, or you can actually put them on your public profile. So they'll all still live in here, whether they are private or public. However, to access your public profile, you can go to your little icon on here, and this is where all of your public collections will live. And within that, you can start to build these up, create sections and things like that, and share multiple collections at once. And this is really a key part to how you can start developing and building portfolios, or how your students can start building portfolios of their own as well. Another key part of this is being able to set up student accounts. So we do have, if they're a student 13 or over, they can set up their own account if you're happy for them to do so, and they'll have access to all of these features. Now, if they are under 13, or you want them to have a secure student account, what you can do is you can use the Classroom feature. Now, if I go to Classrooms just here, I'm able to import classes via either Google Classroom, Microsoft, or Clever. I can set them up with an account. It's single sign-on, so they're using their existing, all they need to do is go to wakelet.com and use their existing credentials with Google, Microsoft, or Clever. And they'll be set up with this kind of corner of Wakelet that they can start to use to curate and start to save down all of their work as well. So they'll have a similar place that you can do the same on Wakelet. There are a few differences because of privacy. They have access to the integrations, but only the ones that you allow them to. We know certain ones are blocked in districts, so we want to make sure that you can switch off the ones that they're not able to access. You can also, they also don't have access to the search and explore functionality. Again, it's a private account, but what they can start doing is they can start building their portfolios. I'll show you some examples of those in just a moment. But with those portfolios, they're not public facing, they're private, but they can start building them. And then eventually over time, when you're happy for them to then have that profile and have that account, they can then take it with them later on, through different classes, through different schools, and take that with them if they want to as well. So I'm going to jump into this collection, and what I've done in this as well is I've put in some links around that. If you jumped onto some of the earlier sessions, I didn't want to go too into the technical side of Wakelet, because hopefully you've seen how it works and how you can start setting up. But with a collection like this, super simple, a case of popping in any links here, adding some text, images, bookmarks that you saved down previously, PDFs, or even searching through the integrations that we have here as well. So again, it just makes it super easy to tie in all of the tools that you're using and save down content from lots of different platforms there as well. So what I've done is I've put a really handy collection in there that's got a few getting started resources, just in case you want those for later to work your way through. But like I said, you can get started and sort of play around with it that way as well. I've also put in something around classrooms, so that will give you a step-by-step guide as to how to set up student classrooms, but simply a case of selecting the ones that you want to pull through from those 3 platforms, and then they'll be set up with a class. But there's a few resources in there, particularly for students and webinars we've done in the past, which you're more than welcome to have access to, and see how educators have been using Wakelet to build portfolios with their students. But I wanted to jump straight in and showcase a few examples just to give you a little bit more kind of inspiration and ideas as to how you could actually start to use that and implement that with your students. So a great way of doing that, particularly for kind of building up the content and having your students get familiar with Wakelet, is starting to do something like a project that they can start, putting their feedback in, saving down research and things like that into one place. And then eventually these collections will build and they can have a full portfolio, which again, I'll show you in just a moment. So a few examples here from some of our educators who are using Wakelet. This is by one of our ambassadors, Chris, who's used this with her students to do a research portfolio. Now, a great thing about Wakelet is you can actually create these templates that then they can save down. So if you've created a classroom in Wakelet for them, they'll be able to access these resources. You can even allow them to edit and have a copy of that themselves, so that they can very much make that their own and work from that as a template, but then build on it and very much get creative and make it them their own. So with this one here, I really love how Chris has used the column layout. It's a great one, particularly for research projects, because you can kind of break down maybe the questions, things to think about, but if even like pieces of research, it's a really nice way to kind of compartmentalize the different sections of your project, and it's great for students to be able to then look back on and see what they've used, like books that they've used, different resources that they've found, and things like that. So you can, one of the layouts with Wakelet, like I said, is the column layout here. This is great for this kind of project, because then you can put the little titles in here, and then you can have content throughout these columns. So you can have as many of these columns as you like. But I like these. They're really nice, clear and structured as well. So Chris has put resources that she has found that her students can use, been able to put a bit of instruction there and deliver that for her students so they can work their way through it. And then also just giving them a few things and hints and tips as to what to use, so they can use this template but then make it their own. You'll see from this little icon here, I can actually copy this. So if you want to, or another educator has allowed you to do so, you can actually make a copy of this as well. There's so many great resources put into place and already out there as well. So it's a great one to have a little search for. And if you're not already part of it, the community is fantastic for providing resources like this. So if you are looking for something like this, yeah, you can save that down, and your students can do the same to work from that as well. But like I said, this is a great one for like a collaborative project, but also research projects as well. They can put their final part in here, and this is really good for student choice here, that you could actually give them a little bit of an option as to what they want to create that in. So again, you're delivering the instructions for the actual project, but you're breaking it down nicely and easily, and you're allowing them to get creative, but you've also given some really nice guidelines there as well. So that was one example I wanted to showcase, and then I'm going to jump into a few student ones here. So this is a history. And again, this is a great way of being able to just save down those resources that you've used, and just make sure that they're in one place that then your students can easily share out, so that they can do a reflection piece, or should just showcase their work. So you've got PDFs just saved down here, really simplistic, but it's the evaluation, it's different reflection and things like that. So it could be something as simple as this, but it's really effective. So you could break them down. They can showcase their work with whatever tool that they're using, whether it's saved in a PDF, whether it's been done in Canva, whether it's been done on a Google slide deck, anything they like, they can save down. And then you've got this grid view, which really helps them showcase and do more of a sort of feedback and reflection piece on that as well. But as I said, it could be one particular topic like this one, but it could be that you have multiple, or you're doing a project in that sense as well. Another one similar, I'm not going to go through all of these, because like I said, you can have this resource just here, but there is a music history portfolio, which is really great here, by Zaid, and again, put a little bit of detail about what he's been working on. And again, it's a really nice way to do something where you're focusing in on one area and writing a few notes and things like that. So it's really good for research projects. This, like I said, in music history, you put a little bit of text in there. Just one of the things to highlight with the Wakelet platform is we do have the Immersive Reader tool, Microsoft Immersive Reader tool built in. So if ever you're having or you're sharing any resources with your students, they'll have access to that tool. It's not something you need to turn on. But if you're sharing our resources with your students, they'll have the ability to change the text size, change the backgrounds there as well for any students with visual impairments, or you can even highlight pieces, parts of speech. Or if you're sending this out to students or students' parents who speak another language, there's the translate option there as well. So there's over 60 languages in there that you can actually translate those pieces of text into. But that is just something I wanted to highlight as we were going through. There are these sort of little features which really make a massive difference when sharing out these collections, particularly if you're sharing it with someone who does speak another language. Great thing about videos and things like that is they are very interactive within Wakelet. So you can actually have these playing within your collection, don't have to jump back out and jump back in. So if you wanted to have those, it's a really nice way to. It makes for a really nice multimedia look on the page as well. Again, your students can look for those resources, learn how to curate and present those in the way that's going to best tell the story that they want to tell as well. So as you can see, it's a breakdown of different images and artists here, a little bit about them, and you know, some project and feedback pieces there as well. So again, just highlighting a really nice way, again, with that sort of media view to deliver that content in a really nice visual, but clearly structured way as well. Another one here is you can see some computer projects just here. And again, this is kind of like one collection, but around multiple projects. And again, like I said, you don't have to have a collection for each project you've done. If you maybe just wanted to put them all in one place like this, and just have almost like a look back on the ones that you've done, see the progression. It's a really great way for students to kind of see their progress throughout the year, and be able to look back on what kind of projects they've been a part of and what activities they've done as well. And again, really good on that sort of self-feedback, giving a reflection piece as well in those collections. So all of these really do build up for great portfolios. It's really about your students learning how to, yes, use it for their own sort of projects and research and things like that, and organizing and learning how to pick out those, you know, the resources that are going to best help them, but also a way of them being able to organize them in a way that's going to help, and present and share those in a way that's going to showcase their learning, their development, and the things that they're most proud of as well. Things like reading trackers are a great one. This is, I love this for students. They are able to then kind of have a little list of maybe books that they want to read, ones that they're maybe reading at the moment, and then after the complete, they could even put this as a little reflection piece in there as well. So with all of these cards, they can edit them so that they can put their own notes and things like that. So again, it's a nice way for them to be able to look back on what they've read, and be able to share that later on as well. That one was actually done by Elle on the team, on the Wakelet team here, but we've seen some great book review collections by educators as well. And then there's another art project just in this one, and again, great way of showcasing that work, documenting it, having it all saved down. I think that's a really key thing with Wakelet. It allows you to, yes, use the tools that you want to use, whether that's using pen and paper and things like that, but then you've got this digital copy of them, and then you can sort of like showcase it in a really nice and structured way. So it doesn't mean that, you know, students can't do work outside, not digitally and things like that, but then they can bring it on here so they've got this digital copy of it. It's great for certifications and showcasing badges and certificates, purely because, you know, they can get lost. And so to have those on hand, to have those where you can showcase them digitally, is so valuable as well. So I wanted to showcase like a few wider ones now as well. So there's a few options just in here. And again, you can have a look through these in your own pace, and take a look at some of these. But I wanted to showcase some of the fuller portfolios. So once your students have these accounts of their own, although they are not private, they are they are not public, I should say, and they are private, they can eventually start building something like this that they can then share later on. So Anora was one of our student ambassadors, and she started with the Student Ambassador Program, which is a great resource for your students to start learning the Wakelet platform. It's broken down into 6 individual activities where they can really start to learn how to use Wakelet in lots of different ways for critical thinking, for communication, curation, lots of different ways in which they can use that. But this is Anora's portfolio. She used this actually for college applications, and she started off doing her work for the Ambassador Program and then kind of just built it on from there. Wanted to really showcase and just carry it on and document her achievements. So eventually your students can have something like this. It allows you to add a little bit of a bio and even links to any blogs that they've been a part of or anything like that. Again, it's not something they have to do, but they can if they want to. They can put achievements in their resumes and things like that. So as I mentioned before, it's a really nice way to have a digital copy of things like this, and being able to just have these at hand and showcase things that they've been a part of. So rather than just writing on a CV that they can or have achieved these things, they can now actually showcase these as well. You can see that she's also a musician. She plays in her school band. So again, this is really powerful because it really adds that personality to it, being able to actually showcase different videos of her performances, and it just gives that extra touch and extra personality as well. So again, not only is she saying on her CV that she plays an instrument, now she can actually showcase it, and they can actually see what she's been doing and how great she is as well. So you can really add your own style onto these. Anora is fantastic at graphics, but there are lots of things to help students in doing so. So within your collections, if I just jump back to mine here, within your collection here, there's a few options in which you can design and showcase that your collections. You've got the option to change your cover image. And you've got a few options here. So you can actually upload an image that maybe you created previously. You can design with Canva. So that's a really great one to use, particularly for portfolios. You don't have to be, a graphic designer to be able to put something fantastic together on Canva. You can choose a GIF. Put a bit of a fun GIF in there as well, or you can choose from Unsplash. So Unsplash is a library full of images. They're all copyright free, so you can search within that library and actually use those as well. You can put a background image as well. You don't have to, but you can as well if you want to. So you've got a couple of options in that as well. Again, the layouts really help you be able to present this how you want to showcase your work, and your students showcase their work, and basically what they want to get out of the collection, or what they want the viewer to get out of the collection as well. So if I just jump back to Anora's here, she's got her graphics work here. And I think the really powerful thing about this is, again, rather than writing, about all the different tools that she's able to use, because Wakelet allows you to add, links from any kind of tool or any kind of platform that you're using, she's able to actually showcase her work all in one place. So rather than just saying, again, these are the tools I can use, you can actually showcase this in real life and show the development of these pieces as well. You've got the dates on here of when these were completed. So over time, you can see the development and what she's now able to do. So it may start earlier on with different graphics here. But then eventually, you can see that progress being made, see how her style is changing and developing over time as well. So it's a really nice visual way to be able to, showcase your best work, but also showcase that development where you started and where you now are as well. And And there's a few other collections in here. It really is fantastic. The designs and things she's put into this, even her, outside of school activities that she's been doing. She was doing her own jewelry business and things like that. So she was able to showcase that. And the great thing about this is then you can share this collection super easily. So by sharing it here, you can copy that link and you're sharing all of those collections in one. So rather than sending out an individual collection or multiple links, you've got one link that shares them all. You can also share it with a QR code. So if you do need to have a paper resume or paper application to something, or you just want to, share it out on a business card, there's so many different ways. You can have that on a QR code as well. And then again, they've got access, whoever you're sharing that to has access to all of those wonderfully curated collections that really showcase you as a person and the work that you've done, your achievements and your skills. You can also share it to teams and classrooms and things like that as well. So there's lots of ways that you can share that out. And again, makes it super easy for them to access. They don't need to have an account to be able to view this. They'll be able to access it if you share that with them. A few other examples of here, just of some portfolios. Julie was actually a classmate of Anora's, so similarly, but I just wanted to pick out a few, and you can see how different they are, with the creativity there. They can really put their own stamp on it, and very much make it their own as well. But as you can see, she was a very keen baker, and she was able to showcase, the things that she was creating at home, and with her cake business that she liked to do as well. Again, the power of this is that you're sharing multiple things. She was mascot, so she was able to share these as well. And you can do sort of meet the ambassadors. This is part of the student ambassador program as well, and showcase their own work. But you can really break this down into different ideas and different thoughts and processes here as well. So again, depending on how they want to present it, there's lots of different options for them to do so. I also wanted to showcase this one because, of course, you can use an entire profile to do so, but you can also share this in one collection. And like I mentioned before, the column layout is a fantastic way to be able to do that. Jennifer Mahin is one of our ambassadors, so not a student, a teacher. However, this just shows that you can use it for yourselves as well, to do your own digital portfolios. But the column layout is a fantastic way to do this and have it all in one place. So again, you've broken it into different columns. So anything that she's been a part of, like the blogs that she's written, any particular achievements, and presentations and speeches she's been a part of, she can put in here. Any badges and certificates, portfolios that she's been and done, and even her Twitter mentions and things like that. So, and one thing to mention on this as well is it can be any social platform. So loads of great resources on Twitter, if that's your social media platform of choice, but you can also use them from Instagram, Facebook, any kind of link, like I said, you can save those down into. So again, this is a really nice way to break up that content within one collection. It's all housed in this one really clear place, and you're able to showcase it, with one collection on its own as well. So just jumping back, and just one final one, because eventually these can be something that they can then use professionally. Mary is a fashion design student, and she used this as almost like her creative portfolio, and use this then to actually, showcase and go for jobs in the future. So as you can see, she's able to put her sketchbook and PDFs in there as well. She's also able to put any illustrations that she's done. So again, even if you're creating something that's not digital, you can still showcase it into a Wakelet collection. Different projects that she's been a part of, and showcasing these as well. The process, and like I said, that development, this mood board way is a really nice way to showcase where it started, and then how it ended as well. So again, it's a really powerful way to show the projects that they've been a part of, and also the work that they've done, and eventually use that for job opportunities and things like that. So that one profile, again, she can share that out, they can access it, and they've got all of this in the hand so that they can access all of the work that she's done there as well. So I know I've showed you quite a few examples there, and so hopefully you're seeing that there are lots of different options, and a great way for your students to get started on that is we've got a few courses and programs that they can get involved in. So we do actually have the Student Certified course. This is a really nice self-paced course that they can work through at their own pace and just get to grips with the Wakelet platform. It goes all the way from setting up their account to actually building portfolios and how they can actually manage and work on their profiles themselves as well. So this is a really handy resource, particularly if you're wanting to set a few students up on Wakelet. They can have this to learn through in a lesson. It doesn't take too long, an hour tops, and they can work their way through and just get to know the platform there as well. So I've included the link to that. We also do have a teacher student certified course as well. So if you want to take it yourself and become Wakelet certified, again, it's a really nice resource for you to be able to work through, but also refer back to later on, because we've broken it into different modules. So you'll be able to access those at any time, and then you can go back to them if you want to check in, if you're wanting to learn a little bit more collaboration, or particularly around sort of student usage, you can check in on that as well. And then, of course, I did mention earlier around Nora and Julia's portfolio having started from the Student Ambassador Program. So it's a great program for students to get involved in. The tasks are very flexible. They're designed to allow you to kind of fit them into how your students work, and design them how you want to as well, so that they're going to get the most out of them. But they're based around the 6 C's, and there's a really nice way that you can deliver them. They get digital badges along the way, so again, they can start documenting those in their profiles straight away, and they get a certificate at the end. So it's a really nice way for them to one, learn the platform, but two, just start to use Wakelet in different ways. All of the tasks and challenges are designed to make them think in different ways and think about how they can use Wakelet to effectively showcase the work that they want to portray there as well. So I believe we've got still a little bit of time. So I am going to share this out, like I said, and we've got support links in here as well. So there's help center links, and our YouTube channel has fantastic webinars and things that we've done in the past. So please feel free to check in on those as well. And of course, you can always reach out to myself if you have any questions at all. So I'm going to grab this link. Like I said, super easy to share out. Grab that link just there, and I can share that out with you. I am going to be doing a session on collaboration shortly as well. So if you want to learn more around the collaboration side, I'll be on the next session in this room, I believe, very soon. But yeah, I'm going to jump back, see if there's any questions at all just before we finish up. I understand that was quite a bit of information there. So if you have any questions at all, please do let me know. But I'll pop that in the chat just there. I can just see a few links in here just around the attendance. But yeah, any questions at all, if you want to throw them in the chat, or turn any mics off, please let me know. Oh, fab, I can see my community, the community page is in there as well. Fantastic. Lovely stuff.
Thank you, Amy, so much. I will put the session eval once more in the chat.
Lovely stuff. Thank you. But yeah, if anyone like me, and you think you think about any questions after the session, please do reach out. Like I said, my details are in that collection there, so you can have a little look into those and ask any questions afterwards. But for now, if there's no questions, I will let you go a little bit early, ready for the next session. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Like I said, I will be returning for a session on collaboration. So if you want to know a little bit more about how to use Wakelet, particularly for collaboration with your students, with your teachers, yeah, I'll be in this room again very soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.